Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive, this time into a pretty heavy concept.
Yeah.
It's grievances, as defined by A Course in Miracles.
Oh, yeah. This is a big one.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at lesson 69 from the workbook.
Okay.
And really kind of diving deep into how grievances function as those powerful ego defenses.
Yeah.
The ones that can cloud our perception and block us from, really experiencing that true peace and joy.
Yeah. It's a tricky one.
It is. It's one of those things that I think we can all relate to on some level.
Right.
Having experienced those grievances and held on to them. So I'm going to jump right in, read lesson 69 verbatim, just to make sure we're all on the same page.
Okay.
My grievances hide the light of the world in me. No one can look upon what your grievances conceal, because your grievances are hiding the light of the world in you. Everyone stands in darkness, and you beside him. But as the veil of your grievance is lifted, you will be released with him. Share your salvation now with him who stood beside you when you were in hell. He is your brother in the light of the world which saves you both. Today, let us make another real attempt to reach the light in you. Before we undertake this in our more extended practice period today, let us devote several minutes to thinking about what we are trying to do. We are literally attempting to get in touch with the salvation of the world. We are trying to see past the veil of darkness that keeps it concealed. We are trying to let the veil be lifted and see the tears of God's Son disappear in the sunlight. Let us begin our longer practice period today with the full realization of all this and real determination to reach what is dearer to us than all else. Salvation is our only need. There is no other purpose here and no other function to fulfill. Learning salvation is our only goal. Let us end the ancient search today by finding the light in us and holding it up for everyone who searches with us to look upon and rejoice. Very quietly now, with your eyes closed, try to let go of all the content which generally occupies your consciousness. Think of your mind as a vast round area surrounded by a layer of heavy dark clouds. You can see only the clouds because you seem to be standing outside the whole area and quite apart from it. From where you stand, you see no reason to believe there is a brilliant light hidden by the clouds. The clouds seem to be the only reality. They seem to be all there is to see. Therefore, you do not attempt to walk through them and past them, which is the only way in which you would be really convinced of their lack of substance. We will make this attempt today. After you have thought about the importance of what you are trying to do for yourself and the world, try to settle down in perfect stillness, remembering only how much you want to reach the light in you today, now. Determined to go past the clouds. Reach out and touch them in your mind. Brush them aside with your hand. Feel them resting on your cheeks and forehead and eyelids as you go through them. Go on, clouds cannot stop you. If you are doing the exercises properly, you will begin to get a sense of being lifted up and carried ahead. Your little effort and small determination call on the power of the universe to help you, and God himself will raise you from darkness into light. You are in accord with his will. You cannot fail because your will is his. Have confidence in your Father today, and be certain that he has heard you and has answered. You may not recognize his answer yet, but you can indeed be sure that it is given you and you will yet receive it. Try, as you attempt to go through the clouds to the light, to hold this confidence in your mind. Try to remember that you are at last joining your will to God's. Try to keep the thought clearly in mind that what you undertake with God must succeed. Then let the power of God work in you and through you, that his will and yours be done. The Course is giving us this guided meditation to help us see past the darkness of our grievances. But, before we kind of get lost in the clouds here, what stands out to you as like the core message of this lesson?
I think for me, the line that always gets me is, my grievances hide the light of the world in me.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful reminder that our grievances, these like perceived wrongs that we cling to, are actually like barriers to experiencing the love and joy that are our true nature.
Yeah, and it's not even just about us, right?
Yeah.
The lesson also emphasizes how our grievances keep everyone around us in darkness too.
But lesson 69 offers hope. It reminds us that we have the power to choose differently, to lift the veil of grievances and experience that shared salvation that the Course speaks of.
Okay, so we've got this powerful imagery of clouds and light, right? This idea that our grievances are obscuring our true nature and keeping us separate. How do grievances actually function as ego defenses?
A Course doesn't view grievances as just hurt feelings.
Right.
They're much deeper than that. They're these intricate defense mechanisms that the ego uses to protect its fragile sense of self.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
The ego thrives on separation.
Okay.
On the idea of me versus them.
Right.
Grievances are like weapons in the ego's arsenal.
Okay.
Tools that it uses to maintain that illusion of separation. When we hold on to a perceived wrong, we're essentially saying, I'm a victim and you're the villain.
Yeah.
This reinforces that ego's narrative of being right, of being justified in its anger and resentment.
So it's not just about feeling hurt. It's about clinging to a story.
Exactly.
A narrative that keeps the ego in control.
Yes.
That's a really interesting perspective. But how does the ego actually benefit from this? What does it gain by keeping us trapped in these grievances?
Oh, so much. For one, it gets to avoid taking any responsibility for our own happiness.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Right. It's much easier to blame others for our misery than to look within and address those root causes of our suffering.
I see what you mean. It's like the ego's pointing fingers saying, it's their fault I'm unhappy.
Exactly.
Instead of looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
So grievances are a way for the ego to deflect responsibility.
Precisely. And by holding on to grievances, the ego also gets to indulge in self-pity. Creating this whole narrative of poor me, it reinforces the victim mentality, which, as you know, is a cornerstone of the ego's worldview.
Yeah, I'm starting to see how insidious this can be. It's like the ego is setting a trap and our grievances are the bait.
Exactly. And what's even more fascinating is that grievances don't just block us from seeing the light in others. They block our own awareness of love and truth within ourselves.
Grievances keep us separate from others and disconnected from our true selves.
That's right. It's a self-imposed prison of suffering, all orchestrated by the ego.
Woof. I think to really understand this, it's helpful to look at a specific scenario.
Examining a real-life example can really help bring this concept into focus. So imagine this. You confide in your close friend Sarah, sharing something deeply personal, and later you discover that she shared that information without your permission.
Ouch, that stings just thinking about it. I can feel the hurt, the betrayal. The sense of violation. It's so easy to get caught up in those emotions.
Right.
And build a case against Sarah in our minds.
That's precisely where the ego wants you. Remember, its goal is to reinforce separation and keep you trapped in that grievance.
Right.
So it whispers in your ear, see, you can't trust anyone. Sarah's the bad guy. You're the victim.
But the Course teaches us that forgiveness is the key to releasing these grievances and dismantling the ego's hold on us.
And the first step is acknowledging the pain. Don't try to suppress it or pretend it's not there. Just honestly admit, I'm hurt, I'm angry, I feel betrayed. This allows you to move through the emotions rather than getting stuck in them.
Okay, so we acknowledge the pain. What's the next step in this journey of forgiveness?
The next step is where it gets really interesting. The Course encourages us to question our interpretation of the situation. Are we clinging to the only possible narrative?
Okay.
Is Sarah truly the villain, and are we simply a victim? Or could there be other perspectives that we haven't considered?
That's a tough one. It's so easy to get locked into our own viewpoint, especially when we're hurting. But I guess if we're truly seeking healing, we need to be open to the possibility that we might not have the whole picture.
Exactly. Maybe Sarah made a mistake, misjudged the situation, or thought she was helping in some way. Perhaps she was struggling with her own issues and acted impulsively.
Right.
By considering these alternative interpretations, we begin to loosen the grip of our grievance.
Practicing empathy for someone who's hurt us can feel almost impossible sometimes. It's like we're betraying ourselves by trying to understand their actions.
I understand the resistance, but remember, the Course teaches us that we're all connected, all part of the same sonship. Even when someone acts in a way that hurts us, they're still our brother or sister, just as lost and confused as we sometimes are.
So how does this shift in perspective lead to forgiveness?
Forgiveness, in the Course's terms, isn't about saying that what Sarah did was okay. It's about releasing the judgment, the resentment, the need to be right.
Are there any specific actions we can take to make this process more tangible?
Absolutely. And that's where the next step comes in. Recognizing our shared humanity with the person we perceive as having wronged us. In this case, Sarah.
You're talking about seeing her not as the villain in our story.
Right.
But as another human being, flawed and imperfect, just like us.
Exactly. We all make mistakes. We all have blind spots, and we're all capable of hurting others, even unintentionally. Recognizing this shared humanity can be incredibly powerful.
What's the final step in this journey of releasing a grievance?
How do we actually bridge the gap between understanding and, true forgiveness?
Yeah, that's where we turn to the Holy Spirit, the inner guide that the Course speaks of. We ask for help in seeing the situation differently, in seeing Sarah not through the lens of our grievance, but through the lens of love.
So we're essentially asking for a miracle,
Yeah.
a shift in perception that allows us to see Sarah in a new light. And the Course assures us that when we ask for this miracle with sincerity, it will be granted.
Okay.
But it's not about magically erasing the hurt or pretending that it didn't happen. It's about transforming our perception of the situation and of Sarah so that we can release the grievance and move forward in peace.
Okay. I'm starting to grasp the depth of what forgiveness really means in the Course. But I'm curious, what does it actually feel like to release a grievance? What tangible benefits can you expect to experience?
Oh, the benefits are truly transformative. The most immediate and noticeable is a sense of profound inner peace.
Okay.
Remember that heavy weight we talked about, that cloud of negativity hanging over you? It lifts. You're no longer carrying that burden of resentment.
Does releasing the grievance mean everything goes back to how it was before?
Not necessarily, and that's an important point. Forgiveness doesn't obligate you to reconcile or pretend that nothing happened. It's about freeing yourself from the grip of the grievance, not about dictating the future of the relationship.
So it's more about our internal shift than about the other person's actions.
You're no longer a victim of circumstance. You're empowered to choose peace and joy regardless of external events. If you choose to re-engage, you'll be able to do so from a place of understanding and compassion, not anger and blame. You can express your hurt, honestly set boundaries, and listen with an open heart.
So even if the relationship doesn't fully recover, the potential for a healthier, more authentic connection opens up.
Exactly. And even if you choose not to rekindle the friendship, you've still gained something incredibly valuable. A deeper understanding of forgiveness, a stronger sense of inner strength, and the realization that your happiness doesn't depend on the actions of others.
Those are some profound takeaways. It seems like the benefits extend far beyond just this specific situation.
Right.
Releasing a grievance is like a ripple effect impacting all areas of our lives.
You said it. The more we practice these principles, the more we dismantle the ego's hold on our perception and allow the love and light within us to shine through.
This has been such an enlightening conversation. It's given me a whole new perspective on grievances and the transformative power of forgiveness.
Me too. It's amazing how much wisdom the Course packs into a single lesson.
So for anyone out there wrestling with a grievance, remember, you're not alone. The Course offers a clear path to freedom.